Here's an interesting thing. Comes from 2011. What's that? 10 years ago. It's the first one I've ever come across of those wallets, which are supposed to protect you from radio waves, from pirates being able to read your credit cards because it's inside your wallet in your pocket. This one's got a fine mesh all over it. The whole thing is made of very, very fine mesh wire and stops radio waves getting through. So all that mesh there on every pocket there has got the mesh on it, and it's got a series of little sleeves into which you put your credit cards and your notes and your driving license and your coinage, everything there is included. What's interesting about it is I was given one of these by Tom Rogers, who was running the Gather for Gardner about 2011. And then just this year, this last Christmas, my wallet was finally giving up, and I was given for a present, I'd asked for it, one of these, which is my present wallet. This is the one I've got. Would you believe this has got the same technology, but 10 years later? And if I turn this up to camera, you'll read what it says about its properties. So this thing, presumably, perhaps there's our wire meshing actually sewn into the layers of the leather. I don't know what it is, but it feels like normal leather, two layers of it. And there must be something in between, very flexible, but able to resist radio waves penetrating, so that anything you've got in there, it can't be read by bandits. So 10 years later, that's what comes out. This one I never use. It's a bit difficult. It feels funny. It's a bit too large for my pocket as well. This one I'm now wearing every single day, and it's nice to know that I'm protected from having my credit cards zapped, etc. So that's a bit of progress, isn't it? Now there's a lovely version of the old, they call it card folding, where you cut the cards. There's several people who do this. I'll see if I can hold it there. It's got a backing piece I can take off like that. What's so remarkable about it is, of course, when you push that piece over like that, that's where it came from originally. You can see it fits there exactly. But the other one's underneath and getting in the way. So how did you do it? Not cutting. They don't cut. They just do very, very clever techniques of folding, which I find amazing. And that's a very nice card. What I also like is the backing piece, which has got little corners like you have for stamps. For my brother's stamp collection, he's got little corners, and it slips into the corners and holds it nice and firmly on a piece like that. So a nice piece, that. And I'll run that into the next one, which is a remarkable bit of technology. This is something that a friend David Berder gave me a few years ago. It's a block of fiber optic, and it's used in certain cameras where you want to have an image which is down there, lifted up by no more than half an inch, just up to the top there, but keeping it level. And if you've got something on top of it to focusing on it, it's very particular that it's half an inch higher. To see that there is a fiber optic block is difficult to do, but we'll have a go. If I put a little bit. So we've got the butterfly at the back of it, and you can see it better at the top. Let's see what happens if we turn it gently round a little bit. Actually, I've just realised I think it's going to work better with this wing. There we are, that one there. Looks steady. Very interesting, isn't it? So it's doing a marvellous effect of bringing an image up from the bottom to the top by no more than half an inch, which sometimes, especially with camera work, with the interior cameras, is very critical and has to be done very precisely. And this is what this block of fibre optic does. Wow, what a piece. Now we've got a marvellous paper bag that I've given. I do like paper bags, don't you? This one here is, well, let's see if I can show the back of it. And why is it so interesting for me? It's because it's come from the far side of the world from where I'm living, which is Tasmania, the south of Australia, and it comes from a novelty toy shop in the middle of Hobart, which is the capital. And what's nice about it is when you take your goods home, you find that the paper bag gives you lots and lots and lots to read and things to look at and study and quotes from Socrates and other people. So it's a lovely bit of extra freebie, as it were, given by the people who run the toy shop to delight their customers. I think that's a very nice idea. It's beautifully done. And the fact that it comes from what, 12,000 miles away, makes it even more interesting, I think. The last one is an extraordinary toy that was handed out at the New York Toy Fair back in 2011, called Shapelets. This is the time when the Japanese had come up with these shaped elastic bands, which are made in factories, of course. So this is a DIY version of those shaped elastic bands. What a concept. You're given a packet of elastic bands, quite big, thick things, but they're all sort of thermal. Let's take one out to show it to you. It's just an elastic band, but a large one, and different colors as well. What you do is you put them in a frame, which they provide you with, which is this thing here. Would you believe? I've started to make one there looking like a star. You've got little things you stick inside it. You put this in the oven once you're happy with the shape of it, and you are helped actually a little bit by having this little composite which shows how to lay out at least three of them. There we are. There's that lot there. They give you a starter. So I've started in the star. There's the aeroplane still to do, and then a little Marshmallow figure like that. So you get the piece, you put them in there, you put that in the oven at 125 degrees, or they tell you the instructions, for only just 10 minutes. The plastic itself will tolerate that. It won't deform or melt or anything like that. But the band takes up the shape it's received by heated, and you end up with, well, I've done, some of these are given to me, some of them are different places, but that's the sort of thing you can end up with. A lovely series of shaped elastic bands, which that one I would have made myself, and that one came from somewhere else. I think it is. It's not my shapes, but that's the idea: is to make some of these lovely shaped elastic bands and a DIY, do it yourself. I love it. So I'm going to have a bit of fun doing a few more of these. I think. Do you like it?